Hello everyone. Welcome to your St. Thomas School. Welcome to your online classes. This is your English teacher, Siji. Today we are going to revise the letters E, F, G and H. So we already know these letters A, B, C and D. And we know the sounds also, isn't it? A, B, K, D. Today we are going to learn the letters E, F, G and H. So let's start with our letter E. So you already know this is our capital letter E or the big E, and this is our small letter E, isn't it? Mama E, baby E. And what is the sound of this letter? E, isn't it? So what do you see here? Wow, that's an elephant. E, E, elephant. What is the sound of E? E. So the first letter is E. The sound is E. Elephant. What is this? Egg. The first letter is E. The sound of this first letter is E. Egg. Egg. And what is this? This is our number 8. 8. E. 8. What is this? Engine. E. E. Engine. Engine. Look at the elbows. E, A, elbow. Elbow. Let's revise how to write our capital letter E. So how do we write our capital letter E? We draw a standing line from the first to the third line, and then we draw a sleeping line from the standing line on the top, that is on the first line. And then another sleeping line that is from the middle of the standing line, that is on the second line, and then another sleeping line that is on the third line, making our capital letter E. Let's do it once again. We draw a standing line, then we draw a sleeping line from the standing line on the top, that is the first line, then from the middle, that is on the second line, another sleeping line, and then another sleeping line that is on the bottom, that is the third line. Okay, that's our capital E. Small e, just a little below the second line, we start a sleeping line, then a forward curve. Let's do it once again. So a small sleeping line from the middle, that is middle of the second and the third line, which moves back up and forms a forward curve like this, making small letter E. Now look at this. This is our letter F. Capital F, small f, big F, small f, or mama F and baby F. Let's start. What is the sound of the first letter F in this? And what is the picture here? Fish. F, fish. F, fish. What are these? Fruits. F, fruits. Fruits. What is the first letter here? F again. So F, fan. F, fan. And what is this? This is a frog. F, frog. Frog. Now look at this. F, fox. F, fox. Now let's see how to write our capital letter F. Again, that's very easy, just like our capital letter E. We draw a standing line from the first to the third line, and then a sleeping line from the standing line on the first line, and then another sleeping line that is on the middle, that is from the middle of the standing line. Let's do it once again. So we draw a standing line, then we draw a sleeping line on the top, that is the first line from the standing line, like this. Then another sleeping line from the middle of the standing line, that is the second line. So this makes our capital letter F. Now let's do a small letter F. We start a little below the first line. We draw a small down curve which moves down as a standing line like this to the third line. And then we draw a sleeping line through the standing line in the middle, that is on the second line, like this. Let's do it once again. We draw a small down curve just a little below the first line like this. Then we move down as a standing line to the third line. And then we draw a sleeping line through the standing line in the middle like this, small f. Now, which letter is this? Capital letter G and small letter G, isn't it? And what's the sound of this letter? G. Okay, so let's read a few words. G, G, grapes. So the first letter is G. What is the sound of this letter? G, grapes, grapes. And this is a girl. G, G, girl. The first letter is G, G, girl. What is this? This is a gun. G, G, gun. Gun. G, G, gate. Do you remember what is happening here? Close, open, close, open. So the gate is getting closed and open, isn't it? And now, what do you see here? A glass. G, G, glass. And you see the water being poured into it, isn't it? Okay, so let's see how to write our capital letter G. We start by drawing a forward curve from the first to the third line, which moves up to the second line. Then we draw a sleeping line on the second line and then a standing line from the second to the third. Okay, a forward curve which moves up to the second line and then a sleeping line on the top which stretches and then another standing line like this, making our capital letter G. Now let's see how to write a small letter G. For that, we draw a small forward curve that is from the second to the third line. Then we draw a standing line joining the curves moving to the fourth line and then moving up with the up curve. A forward curve, a standing line moving to the fourth line which moves making an up curve, making our small letter G. And now our letter H, capital H, small h, big H, small h, or our mama H and our baby H, isn't it? And what is the sound of H? H, H, isn't it? So as I told, ha, 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 isn't it? Okay, so let's start with our first word. What is this? The first picture, hen. So what is the first letter you see here, dear children? H, isn't it? And what is the sound of H? H. So hen. H, H, hen. And what is this? Horse. H, H, horse. H, H, horse. And what do you see here? A joker or a clown, isn't it? And what is the joker holding here? A horn. H, H, horn. H, H, horn. What is this? This is a hut. H, H, hut. H, H, hut. And what is this? This is a hat. Hat. H, H, hat. Okay. So now let's see how to write our capital letter H. So for that, we draw a standing line first. That is from the first to the third line. Then another standing line a little far away from the first to the third. And then we join both the standing lines with the sleeping line on the middle. That is on the second line. Okay, isn't that very easy? So we draw a standing line from the first to the third line, another standing line from the first to the third line, and then we join the standing lines with the sleeping line on the second line. Okay, so now how to write a small letter H? Again, we draw a standing line from the first to the third line, and then we draw a down curve from the second to the third line, like this. Let's do it once again. A standing line from the first to the third line, and then a down curve from the standing line itself, that is from the second to the third line, like this. making our small letter H. So dear children, I hope you already learned these letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H, isn't it? And you learned the sounds and you also learned how to write these letters. So dear children, keep practicing, keep reading, keep writing. Have fun. Take care. Thank you.